All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Tribe Redefine team call. It is what day? April 13th. I had to look at the dang clock on my phone because I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not sure. And it's weird because this is only the second call of April. It feels like we've been in April for a million years. But we've got a long month ahead. We've got a lot of announcements, a lot of changes. I'm going to run through just a couple of things, and then I wanted to talk to you about recruitment and mindset and a couple of just takeaways that I'm pulling from the Josh Coates 21-day recruitment challenge that I'm doing. Leslie's doing it as well. Are you drinking pumpkin spice, Leslie? That looks like pumpkin spice. Oh, I'm drinking pumpkin spice. I thought we were totally twinning. Oh, energized. Oh, gosh, how dare I think otherwise. Let's see. I didn't see everybody's Success Club numbers pop up, so I want to see. So Teresa is at 8. Jackie, type in your Success Club points. I know you've got a couple. If anyone else has them, jot them down in the chat. First announcement, beyond the fact that Summit has been canceled, just if you had a flight or hotel, make sure that you're getting that taken care of, and be on the lookout because they're going to be refunding our tickets. So just make sure if you had 1 ticket, 2 tickets, whatever, depending on the window in which you purchased, just check the time frame, or excuse me, the amount that you are refunded. I know our company does a really great job of being as transparent and smooth as possible, but I know that there are different ticket windows to purchase. So just make sure that what you're refunded is what you earned or what you paid for, because it's changes so often. And I'm sure there's going to be a snag or two. Jackie's at 6. Nice job. All right. The other thing with Summit is that they are going to be planning a virtual Summit event, very similar. I'm imagining Virtual Super Saturday, which I'll talk about in a second, is going to be kind of a lead into that. So do consider, I don't want to say keep those dates available because that's just weird, but in the same time, it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to consider, making that a bit of a virtual retreat. So just something to throw out there if they're going to be doing virtual summit, what that's going to look like. If it's a couple of days event, maybe we can create some sort of excitement around that, create some sort of recruitment or virtual retreat or something. So just something to consider, something I've been thinking about. So if you have any ideas and you want to throw them at me, or throw them in the chat or talk about them at another time, we've got plenty of time to plan that, but just something that I thought would be cool to consider. Now, Virtual Super Saturday. So they did put out the time frame of everything today. All I recall, I think it was I could be wrong, 2 p.m. Eastern time, but I feel like now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm wrong. Is that correct?
You're right. Yeah. 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern, 7 UK.
Okay. And they did it on purpose so that all of the markets could be available. If they did it any earlier, later, whatever, the UK could be bounced around. So just double check what that time frame looks like in your day. Teresa, they're going to post recordings, so it's okay. My favorite band also has a live concert at 3 p.m. So I'm a little bummed that they're overlapping as well. But we'll make it work. They're encouraging teams to do pre or post kind of powwow things. So I wanted to, I'm going to put out a poll and see what that would look like for you guys if you'd want to do something kind of Saturday morning as like a little kickoff, and then maybe Sunday morning as like a chance for everybody to catch up with all of the announcements and stuff, and then kind of powwow and game plan from that. So just think about what you would like to do with that. And then finally, just remember that we have our 10 rounds launch. We also have Bar Blend going into the Beachbody On Demand library in a little over a week. And that was a huge program, and it was so loved by so many people, and it is so needed for so many people, especially now with with everything that's going on with the affirmations and just Elise's energy and her commitment to positivity, and her vibe is just really, really awesome. So if 10 rounds isn't the thing for your people, please don't forget that option. I wouldn't sell anybody the Bar Blend Challenge Pack right now. I just think it's not kind to do that to people, unless you want them to get the affirmation cards and stuff. So I shouldn't say that, but be very transparent. This will be in the library in just a couple of days, but if you want all the stuff, this is a really good package to have. So I shouldn't say don't sell it, but just be transparent about it, be honest about it. But it's such a great great program, such a beautiful opportunity for us to remember that that's still a thing and to really show that our company is showing up for us and putting this out there early because they know it's something people need. So don't forget to use that as a tool, because 10 rounds is over here and bar blend is over here. And you want to make sure you're reaching all of those people. And it's really easy to kind of focus in on the hot thing at the time. So just to keep that in mind. Otherwise, I know you guys know how to read Coach Office. I know you know all of the stuff and all the announcements. Beachbody Champions is a really great resource for trainings and for updates. So if you're not in that group or not active in that group, it is really worth your time, more so than the team pages. I feel like Beachbody Champions is the place to go. Daddy will take this one. The pooper is ready. Daddy's coming. And I just wanted to say that about a poop. It's exciting. And now I got to say it on record. Oh, I lost my point. Oh, but I wanted to then highlight what Leslie encouraged us to put together, which is our ongoing schedule. And I moved some people's things around just so that everything actually is in a time frame that it would exist in. So all times listed are Eastern time, because I'm selfish, but most of the faces I'm looking at, of the 7 of us on this call, 5 of us are Eastern time. It just standardizes it. But place yours based on Eastern time, but at the actual time that you would do it. So I know, let's say like, Robin, are you 2 hours behind me? Just nod if you're 2 hours. 1? Oh, just 1. All right. So if Robin's working out at 7:30, let's pretend, she would just put it in the 8:30 slot, because that's what time we would all be able to do it. So this way no one has to do math when they're looking at it, like, oh, Stephanie's doing a power hour at 6. What's that my time? It's this time. Just adjust all the times to reach your time, so that I know in this block of the day, Pam and Teresa and Jackie are doing a power hour. This block of the day, these people are working out. This block of the day, and it just all exists in line when it's actually occurring. You just kind of make the time in your brain work with your time zone. But this way, nothing is awkwardly overlapping that truly isn't overlapping. It's just because we're listing it in different time zones. So I hope that makes sense. And use the link that exists in each block. So the reason being, we have certain links, and you can only have a Zoom account running for one center at a time. Is what free, Stephanie? I unmuted you. No, now I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. Type it. Anyway, what was I saying? You can only have one person can host only one Zoom at a time. So I could be hosting a Zoom and my daughter can be on a Zoom, but I can't be hosting 2 Zooms at a time. And I have to use this account for school. So that's just why Leslie's created stuff for her power hours. Teresa has one of our links. We all have stuff going on, so just use the one that's linked to whatever power hour, team call, whatever it is you're doing. It's very self-explanatory. I just wanted to get this on record and just clarify, because I thought it was a great idea, and I appreciate that we can go on and edit and add things and take them off and just all be aware of what everyone's doing, and it makes a huge difference. So if you see something consistently happening that you are doing, like every Wednesday you happen to get a 12 o'clock power hour in, then throw it on there and make it a thing. Why not? All right, so let's move on to the actual training stuff. So I said you're going to need paper and pencil. You could take notes if you would like to, but there's just a couple action items that I wanted you to jot down that are kind of building and expansion related. So as I've said now probably 12.5 times, I signed up for a 21-day recruitment challenge with Josh Coates. I made it a goal of myself to do it in those 21 days. I have struggled with that last week, but now that I'm on spring break and I took the weekend and I've caught up for the most part, and I will be doing it every single day for the 21 days. But there's a few elements in it that I wanted to share with you. One of them is going to be a resource, and after the team call, I'm going to put it into Tribe. And it's a tracker that he shared with us that is pretty neat. I actually have my mom printing it for me tomorrow. I have masks for her, so we're meeting halfway, and I'm going to throw the masks at her, and she's going to throw the schedule at me, and we're not going to touch or look at each other. It's really neat because what it does is it breaks down the activity by number, more so than just our Success Club system. system tracker does. So it'll have the number of invites, coach invites, like everything's kind of delineated a little bit differently. So I liked that. I'm going to start using both, at least for the rest of these 21 days, and see how I feel. But it also has an intentional rotating schedule of social media posts, and it explains what those posts look like. I have notes on explaining what he means by each of those posts, and I'm going to do that in a live video in Tribe. I don't want to totally bore you guys tonight with too much information, but I just really liked it as a way for us to kind of move our business in a more specific direction, because the challenge group or the Success Club system is so good about how to post on stories and how to connect with people and all of that, but in a generic, open-ended way. This niches it down in some of those categories a little bit more. So that'll end up going up into Tribe, as well as my explanation of what the heck those posts mean. But in this recruitment challenge, he's talking a lot so far about the mindset behind recruitment and the necessary activities that we need. And there are just a few quotes that I wanted to share with you and kind of connect what he had to say around them. One of them that he mentioned today that was so important and such a good reminder, and it's something we've talked about before about this business having lag. He said, the work you're doing today is going to pay off 3 to 6 months from now. And the rewards you're reaping today are from work 3 to 6 months ago. And if we're not consistently expanding, sharing, inviting, and connecting, that is going to stop. So we aren't hustling today for today's dollar. We are hustling today and working hard today for what we're going to be rewarded with 3 to 6 months down the line. And we've said it a billion times, but he broke it down so specifically that it hit me. And it's something that I hadn't been thinking about a lot lately. I always know that if I push really hard at the end of a month, I have a really good beginning of the next month. That usually happens. But it's those relationships. It's the real work. It's the real element that we have that other multi-level marketing companies do not have, where we really truly try to get to know our customers. We really try to get to know what they need and understand how we can best serve them. I'm not just throwing, I don't know, leggings at people or throwing essential oils at people just because. I mean, there's a few people I follow who sell different oils. I don't remember what companies they each work for. And they're always just constantly putting up like the graphics and images and all of this about like every single thing that they have. But talk to me about like an issue and what is going to fix that one issue. Don't talk to me about 100 things at once. And we are really good about that. And our company really tries to help us remember that we are solution based. We are looking to solve someone's problem. And if we're looking to solve their problem, we need to get to know them. And we're only going to get to know them if they know, like, and trust us. So the work we're doing today, we're going to be rewarded for 3 to 6 months from now. And the rewards we're reaping right now are 3 to 6 months worth of work. I am sure that so many of Teresa's and Jackie's points that they have so far came from that. Came from Teresa's meal prep parties, and came from Jackie's free groups, and came from Jackie's just honest social media, came from all of the ways that they're serving and sharing, and Teresa's sending Shakeology samples to people, and all of the things that they do over the course of these weeks and months transpire into this awesome closing, right? And these awesome launches for them because they're doing all of that work. So just keep that in mind. Another thing that he talked about that was so important is that when we show up for social media, when we show up on live video, when we show up in a post, when we show up for a team call, we need to focus, and I've heard this quote said differently, so I liked what he said. We need to focus on not being the most exciting, but being the most excited. And if we are exciting, we are exciting to people. So I don't have to show up on my social media with like the most biggest epiphany, best quote from Brene Brown and steps 1 through 3 on how to fix your life, and, you know, coming out with everybody's answers and being the most exciting thing. I just have to love what I'm talking about. No matter what it is I'm talking about, I have to love it. And it can't read like BS. We can't bullshit. We have to be straightforward, and we have to mean what we're saying. And if we love our products, we love our community, we love the girls we work with, we love these workouts, we love the trainers, we love, you know, virtual Super Sunday or whatever. When we love that stuff, people feel that. I don't know how many of you have had this experience recently, but as I'm checking in with people and I'm just sending, my invites look a little bit different with everything going on. I've just been, checking in. How can I help you? I've got, so many different ways. I can send you some free workouts. I can send you recipes. I could just send you a funny meme once in a while. Like, you tell me how I can serve you. And people consistently reply back with, just keep posting the way you're posting. You're inspiring me. Or just keep sharing honestly. You make me feel up. Whatever it is, they're paying attention because I'm excited. Even when I'm talking about my anxiety, or I'm talking about wanting to scream and run out the door because I'm stuck in the house with these children, or whatever it is, I'm honest and I'm excited about it. I mean what I say, and it makes a difference. And I know all of you are doing this, but keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't worry if people aren't liking. Don't worry if they're not commenting. They are paying attention. They are. And we have to keep acting like we're there. He said something, and he said it today in the training that I listened to. He said it in one of the earlier ones. I'm sure Leslie listened to this as well. He's like, you need to have the arrogance of a rock star and the humility of a homeless person. And what he said, and he used this analogy, and this is where our first action item is going to come from. He said, when you show up on social media, you need to act like you are selling out arenas, and you are up on that stage because you belong there, because you are a boss and everybody came to see you and bought $1 million ticket just to be in the front row. But you also need to realize that you have flaws and you have weaknesses, and that's okay. There was a quote, and it's like back further in my notes. I'm going to butcher it, but it was something along the lines of, confident people don't think they have no weaknesses. They're just aware of their strengths. And humble people don't lack strength. They're just aware of their weakness. And we need to, that's like kind of his version of this rock star and homeless person. We need to know our strengths. We need to be aware of our weaknesses and own all of it. Show up in all of it. Show up humble when we're, eating humble pie. Show up rocking it when we got up and did our workout for the 5th day in a row because we promised we would. Be authentic, be honest, and be excited, and people will find you much more exciting. So the first thing that I want us to do, and he walked us through this exercise, it's very brief today, is to think, and without judgment, and I'm going to ask you to write down 3 people. He had us write down only 1, but then I wrote down 5 because I have a hard time choosing. But I want you to think of 3 women, and I will say women, that you admire, you look up to, that you would just love their energy. And the reason I'm asking you to pick 3 is because I want you to think of a couple of different types of women. I want you to think of somebody perhaps who's in a position you would love to be in. So like that dream girl kind of thing, like you're fangirling on this person if you were to happen to run into them. Second, I want you to think about a person who just shows up in the life the way you want to show up. So the life you have now, this person's showing up in it the way you want to show up. And then thirdly, just go all out. Like he kept using Beyonce as an example. Fine. Like Oprah. Like it doesn't matter. Dream big. But pick 3 women. They could be real or imagined. They could be fake like characters on a television show. They could be actresses. They could be team members. They could be your neighbor, your mom, your daughter. Like just think of 3 people that you find have the thing you want, because they have the energy, the confidence you aspire to. They're showing up in the life the way you want to show up in yours. And one really big one. Does anybody want to unmute and say one of the people that they mentioned, that they listed? I wrote down Danielle Natoni, Brene Brown, and Lady Gaga. Mother monster. That's what they call me here. Because my children are monsters. No one? This feels like my Tuesday morning AP Lit class. Well, type one of them in the chat since you're all being, shy about it. And here's what
I'm thinking.
Well, fine. Think faster.
I have one. She's a Beachbody coach, Kelsey Shackley. I love her. I love her energy. I love how real she is. I love how she can just.
How's her husband doing?
Good. He's working out, and yeah. I don't like watch her stories all the time, but when I need like just a little bit of inspiration, like I quickly just go to her real quick.
I don't think I follow them anymore. I did, but I cleared so many people out. So here's what you're going to do. When you're posting, you want to channel those women, not copy those women. There's a completely difference in this. You're going to channel them. You're going to channel the confidence that maybe you feel like you don't have. Or you're going to channel, like for Danielle Natoni, she is uncensored, but it comes across so, I don't know, I take it. Like I'm not offended. She just is. And I find, for me, I get a little people pleasy when I'm typing, and I think about who I might offend, or I want to appeal to everybody. I'm not always niching down, and and she's just, her target is like people just like her, and she owns it. And I love that. And I want to channel that energy a little bit more. So it's not that I want to suddenly start posting in my bikini every day and talking only about like my young hooky husband, because that's like what she loves to talk about. I just want to show up honestly in my life, focused on the people who I'm focusing on, and not on everybody in the peripheral. So just think about that. Have that person in mind. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and then we'll get into this, is when we're thinking about recruitment, and I'm not here to share scripts or tactics yet. I just want to talk to you about what's important with recruitment. And as I continue through this training, I'll definitely deliver what it is that we learn about how to do it. But he said that we have to remember, and this is where I brought up that 3 to 6 month analogy. We have to remember that if we are not expanding our network, we are not going to build a team. And expanding your network looks very different for every single person. It's very individualized. So if you started out with no Instagram and you're building your Instagram, you're expanding your network. If you started out with, a Facebook account with 17 friends and now you have 400, you're expanding your network. So it's not like we need to do X number of new followers a day. You just need to expand at a pace that works for you. He gave some tips for expanding, and that's where one of the action items is going to go into. But really also, while we're expanding, making sure that we're capturing in our social media who we are as individuals. And so on that tracker that I'm going to share with you, as I said, it gives you the different posts that we should be sharing each week. He talked about a couple of different ones that I want to mention today before I get back into how to expand your network, that are going to help us. So as we expand, people get the full view of us. And he used this analogy as well. He said, your social media is a magazine about your life. And I've always heard it as a storefront for your business. Give me like a wave if you've heard that before, like your social media is your storefront for your business. I don't like that, and I didn't like it, and now I know why I don't like it, because I am not Beachbody. You are not Beachbody. I know we are Team Beachbody, like that's cute and hokey and all of that corniness, but you are Jackie and Robin and Teresa and Erica and Leslie and Stephanie. You are not Beachbody. And so our posts need to represent our entire life. He said, if you bought a magazine at the, grocery store, whenever we're allowed to go there for real and can grab magazines without fear of coronavirus. And I grabbed this magazine because, give me an actress, I don't know, Jennifer Lawrence, first actress that came to mind, is in a brand new movie, and she is the cover, star. And I grabbed the magazine off of this shelf and I open it up to the article about her. And it's just telling me about the movie she's in. And that's it. And it's all about why I should go see this movie. I don't really care about this movie. But if there's a page in there about how she finally found the love of her life and she got married, and this is the song she danced with her dad to at her wedding, and then they honeymooned here, and these are her 5 favorite brands to shop real cheap on Amazon, and and it like gives me all of this stuff. Oh, and she's in a movie that comes out in July, and then like it gives me more of her life. I'm interested because I'm getting to know her. And so I like this idea that our social media is our magazine about our life. It's not the storefront for our business. So you want to make sure amongst our posts, we're doing some things. We're creating a power story, which is what we're going to work on real quick. We are breadcrumbing. We are creating engagement posts, and we are creating lifestyle posts. So I'm going to work backwards because they get more detailed. The lifestyle posts are everything that we do in our life that isn't Beachbody. I know that Leslie is a plant lady. Like, I know this because her social media tells me this. I know that if I want to get rid of the weeds in the cracks of my driveway, I could go to her story or her posts and probably learn how. I know that if I want to not kill a succulent like Jackie has done, I can go to Leslie's posts and I will know how. I know that if I want to build a home garden, I could go to Jackie's and I will learn how. Like, I know these things because their lifestyle is a part of their branding. It's a part, and branding sounds intentional. It's not, it's just sharing your life. I know that Teresa works at Chick-fil-A. I know that she has these cute teenagers that work with her that like her to do funny, quiz things on her forehead and silly stuff like that, because that's her lifestyle. That's what she shares. I know that Robin's kids are into sports and now they're stuck home and there's snow today. And like, I know these things because I see it in her story. That doesn't mean I know, what time she worked out today. Only. I know everything else about her. So our lifestyle posts, we are so good at doing them in our story, but make sure that on your social media, in your feed, those exist as well. Engagement posts are the kind that have nothing to do with our business as well, but that are calling people to give us an opinion. I have a baptism to attend one day when I'm not under quarantine. Which dress should I wear? We are trying to book a quick and cheap trip once this social distancing is over. Give me your favorite US destination. Those are engagement posts. You give a little reason why you're asking the question. You ask people for opinion, and what do they love to do? Give their opinions. They love it. They love to give their opinions. I have had to message people on the side who are like my good friends who start emailing me all these opinions. I'm like, I just was asking to get a conversation. So I already have my DC trip planned. Thank you. Like, I feel rude, but like, I know where we're going. I just needed to get some, you don't stop telling your travel agent to contact me, but it's just fun and it gets people excited and it gets them going. The one above that we want to make sure we're doing is our breadcrumbing posts. Breadcrumbing posts, you're going to need to understand your power stories in order to do your breadcrumbing. And I know for a fact I've talked about these before, just called them different things, where we have, our transformation story, or we have the theme of our challenge group coming up. And we know these things, so we use terms from them in different posts that aren't our call to actions, that aren't our transformation posts. So for example, like, okay, Leslie and Nicole and I are running our spring renewal group, and, it's kind of spring cleaning and finding a new you and growth and this. So I would use those kinds of words and those kinds of stories in my engagement post, perhaps, or in my post for my workout this morning, even though it's not a call to action. It's just how renewed I felt after today's workout. So then when my power story comes out and my call to action comes out, people are expecting this because I've been priming them for it. So it's kind of the little hidden previews. That's where your breadcrumb posts come from. And then finally, we have our power story. And these should happen in all areas of your life. And that's what our next little activity is going to do for us. So what I would like for everybody to do real quick, and I'm going to explain power story after I ask you to do this, I'm going to set a timer. I'm sorry, we're running a little long. I'm just going to set it for 2 minutes just because of the time. And I would like for everybody to please jot down everything they can remember about who they were before Beachbody. You could divide it in half and be like before fitness, before coaching, or just go to town, whichever you'd like. But 2 minutes, write down, and they could be words, phrases, sentences, a poem, I don't care. Just get the words down like you're truly my English class for 2 minutes, who you were before Beachbody. Ready, set, go. 30 seconds left. We're slowly losing everybody. All right. So here's what I would like you guys to do. We're not going to do this now. I just wanted to get you set up. So there's a two-part step with this to help you have power stories to focus on. And it's kind of like the color wheel, and there's all these different ways that we kind of generate these ideas. But I think every couple weeks, every couple of months, it's important to do this and to reframe your thinking and to come up with fresh new ideas. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to take your list and you're going to try to decide what you are now, if there's a flip side. So the first thing that I have written down is sick, because I had an autoimmune, I still have an autoimmune disease, but it was really almost debilitating at the time. So I'm going to, change that to now I'm healthy. My next was thin or malnourished. So now I am muscular and I eat a lot, whatever it is. You're just going to take those words, phrases, sentences, and you're going to, in your own time, find what you are now. If you can't find something that's changed yet, then that's an area of personal development that you can lean into. So now we're kind of doing double work. We're identifying that. But the real step after you have those lists is to create 15-minute blocks of time for yourself. And there is no limit on how many days this is going to take. So if you have 12 things on your list, for the next 12 days, spend 15 minutes journaling about one of those transformations, just one of them. And what you're going to end up with is 12, 15, maybe 20 different post ideas that you're going to have for when it's time to share your power story. You're going to have those growth transformations that aren't just my before and afters from Lift 4, or that aren't just my before and afters from this first Super Saturday to this last Super Saturday, my first summit to my canceled summit. Like it's actual things that you have changed and improved in your life, and you're going to have them fleshed out and written out and have all this great content. So however many your list is, and if you need more than 2 minutes to keep diving into it, after that, each day for 15 minutes, you're going to have to write about one of those things. Just journal. If you want to type them into posts that you can save as drafts, that's fine. But it's really, there's just some power to handwriting something out like this, getting really personal, finding those keywords and those thoughts, and just kind of letting your ideas flow and then extrapolating a post out of it. If I could English teacher all of you and encourage you to handwrite first. But 15 minutes, however many you have, that's our action item for tonight. So set it up, put it on your schedule, put it on your time block, and make that happen. What I'm going to ask is, over the course of, Jackie popped on and Erica popped off, there's something wackadoodle happening on our Zoom. It's like musical chairs. It is musical chairs. But I'm going to post every couple of days in Tribe, just asking you to share some of your power story. I'm not going to do a daily post because that'll be obnoxious. But just because I'd love to see and hear what some of these are. So put them in your time blocking, think about how you can expand that. And while you're at it, go send one more invite before you go to bed. All right. We'll talk more about recruiting as I learn more about recruiting. That is it, ladies. I'm going to stop the recording. No, wait, I'm not going to stop the recording because I forgot to say how we talked about sharing, expanding your network. This will take me 3 seconds. We know this already. You go to accounts and you follow their followers on Instagram, but really go to accounts, look at who comments, and go to their accounts and follow their people. Just following the followers of big accounts is just going to find you more bloggers and things like that. But going into the comments, people who are commenting, I love on the comments, go reach over to their accounts and see if I can follow people from there. And on Facebook, don't forget to be every week or two joining some more interest groups, making friends there, getting them into your personal messages, getting them as to actual friends, and talking about things that have nothing to do with fitness and nutrition. Join a local moms group, or join, I don't know, the 4th grade teachers, paid teachers community. There's got to be groups for just about everything these days, for your pet owners and whatever. So he really said that that's how you develop your warm market on Facebook still to this day, is by doing that as and going into those top accounts. So that's that. All right, everyone. It's been a wackadoodle time watching you guys pop in and out of here.